Good afternoon. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now, Kentucky. We do have a severe threat that is unfolding in west central Kentucky right now, and that will continue to expand throughout more portions of Kentucky over the afternoon and into the evening. A little bit earlier than we originally thought, but you get those with these types of storm systems sometimes. Um, One second. Sorry about that. Had to blow my nose real quickly. Wanted to make sure that I wasn't there anymore. Anyway, you get these with these types of storm systems sometimes. You have these earlier start times. Let's go ahead and pull up our radar here from WeatherWise. We have a Beaver Dam area where we have that severe thunderstorm warning. It is a damage threat of considerable there and expires in 29 minutes. Again, that hail core is about 1.75 inches in diameter there. So a little bit over ping pong ball sized hail occurring there, as well as 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And you can see purple there with a little bit of a hook underneath it and some space out in between with a stronger cell there. So pretty classic signatures of a pretty considerable severe thunderstorm here. So this is a little bit on the higher end of the echelon, if you will, of severe thunderstorms. You have different types of severe warnings that you can have, and this is definitely up there with a considerable threat. Let me refresh some of this because my Facebook Live studio is wanting to be a little bit weird. Of course, as you're coming into the broadcast, if you would not mind, tap the share button at the bottom portion of your screen there. Get this video on your news feed so that way your friends and family can view it. You guys hear us say that all the time because it really does help keep folks informed, especially on a day like today where it's a little bit more sneaky. So please help us by sharing the broadcast, sharing the information out, and helping us get these folks informed and up to date. Elsewhere throughout Kentucky, we do have some storms occurring out here in western portions of the state. I believe the slight risk, by the way, was just expanded it out here. I don't think we had a chance to post about it, and that is the case. I like this map here. I thought there's slight risk out eastern Kentucky. It was a little bit too far east. That's why we made our original little square a little bit bigger, but they ended up getting it right here, I think. And you have the slight risks now expanded pretty much along the parkways. Sorry, I feel like I have something like a mosquito bite or something right there behind my mustache. You do have a slight risk from the parkways to pretty much south, and pretty much including the southern half of Kentucky. Where you have that considerable severe threat thunderstorm warning is actually in that 1 out of 5 risk. So you, again, kind of like we mentioned on the post last night where we made that little update there. Again, I think everyone needs to kind of pay attention today, especially pretty much along the parkways to point south. I do want to show you we do have a severe thunderstorm watch out right now as well. Turn off the radar real quickly. We did just post this, so I'm not going to touch on this too long because if you want to see this further, it's already on our Twitter and Facebook for you guys to go view. By the way, Destiny, Kale, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. With June, Travis, thank you for sharing the broadcast. I appreciate your guys' help. Again, on a day like today where it's a little bit more sneaky, I'm going to rely on your guys' shares on the broadcast to help us spread the information out because it's a bit more of a system that's kind of sneaking up on some folks here, and it has the potential to produce large hail. We're already seeing ping pong or larger sized, almost golf ball sized hail, if you will, in Beaver Dam. So definitely a lot of damage probably occurring out there. Again, here's your current severe thunderstorm watch. It does go until 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central Time, basically along the parkways to point south, a couple of counties above the parkways, but you get the point there. Does not include southeastern Kentucky yet. I believe that it will eventually include places like Somerset, London, Pineville, Williamsburg, Monticello, at some point in the future. Of course, your threat's not until later on this afternoon and evening, so you're not going to see a watch out right now. That's currently where your watch is set up. Again, we do have that map already posted to our Facebook and Twitter, so if you want to see that any further, you can go ahead and do that there. For now, I want to get back to this morning here. I'm going to read this bulletin off to you. Again, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to be for northern Butler and southeastern Ohio County and central Kentucky. And again, that does go until 1:15 p.m. Central Time, 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And I believe this is observed, by the way. Yes, golf ball sized hail has been observed in Beaver Dam. And I do have some comments coming in now saying the hail is likely larger than golf ball size. Of course, if you could safely send me some pictures or videos, you can do that to our Facebook page, Weather Now-Kentucky. You can send that to our private messaging inbox there. I would like to see what's going on out there, but of course, make sure that you're remaining indoors until it's over because golf ball sized hail can be quite dangerous to folks that are caught outside. I mean, again, it's like you're getting hit with a golf ball coming down in the middle of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. You can definitely expect injuries to occur, especially if you're caught without anything to cover your head. Of course, this will also, cause damages to vehicles, to roofs, to sidings on houses. So once again, make sure that you are remaining indoors, especially, it did look like it went right over Central Beaver Dam there. Maybe weakening a little bit now. Um, Again, according to everything I'm seeing here, but again, this was an observed large golf ball sized hail threat that was occurring in Beaver Dam going toward Ross. So that's our only severe warning right now. But what we're watching is these little cells that are going to pop up. We're not going to see a main line today, guys. So this is not going to be a very. If you're going to ask me, hey George, is this area going to get hit? It's all going to. I'm not going to be able to answer those because these are all going to be pop-up style storms. So again, I'll kind of put this radar into motion here for you for a second and kind of show you the last 30 scans here from WeatherWise radar, and just kind of show you, look right there. Pause it. It just popped up. It just popped up. Again, this is as of 12:40, so this was an hour ago. It just popped up. So again, just put this into motion. Now look at it. Severe warning. Look, but as of noon, there was nothing there. There's nothing. Look at the radar as of noon Eastern time, and look at it now. So see the point I'm making is, if you're gonna ask me, George, is this area gonna get hit? This area gonna get hit? I can't give you a firm answer because these are genuinely pop-up style storms. Now, again, you're going to see some gaps occurring. For example, out here where we have Paducah, really not seeing a whole lot besides some rain showers, a lot of activity to your south there, and a lot of activity to your north there, where a gap is in between in Paducah and La Center. So, again, you're going to have gaps in between as well. So, again, to give you some perspective on today, I'm not going to be able to give you, very firm answers. What's going on with the Louisville radar, by the way? Oh, no. Is the Louisville radar down? That's not good. Let me text somebody real quickly and see if we can't get an investigation into this Louisville radar. Let me check just to give them some context. Yeah, I think the Louisville radar is down, and that's not ideal on a day like today. So we're gonna be playing radar roulette pretty much. That's not a weather-wise thing. I believe it's just I don't see anything about the Louisville radar. Let me go to their. Let me text somebody else real quick as well. Sorry guys, trying to get this investigated. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything about it, so I want to make sure that NWS Louisville is aware of this. Is One second, guys. I'll get to all your questions and stuff here in one moment. I'm trying to investigate why the Louisville radar is down. Yeah, I don't see any communications about it at all. So I'm trying to make sure that they're aware, which I'm sure they are. But I just want to make sure that the National Weather Service in Louisville is aware that the radar is down there. I'm sure, again, I'm sure they are, but I haven't seen any communications on it. So I just sent a couple texts out to make sure, because that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Because again, a lot of these storms are going to, in my opinion, the strongest portion of the storms today will be anywhere from Bowling Green to Somerset. So having that Louisville radar off is not ideal. I'm sure they're not meaning to, obviously. Probably just something that happened there. But I just want to make sure. Also, this storm now, and again, it's going to be kind of hard to tell because we're probably not on the most accurate radar for it. Again, the storm near Beaver Dam looks to be dying down a little bit. Oh, there you go. New scan coming in. Does have a stronger hail core there now. Check the correlation. Do see some nice correlation drops as well. It does. They did take the warning down to just a regular severe thunderstorm warning now with 1 inch observed hail, which is quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts there. So it did take the damage threat down, which does look accurate according to the radar there. But again, just wanted to make sure those folks in Louisville know that that's down. So just to real quickly cover this real quickly, in case you guys missed the post, here are the outlooks for today Here's your categorical outlook. A level 2 out of 5 risk does exist for pretty much along the parkways to point south. But again, to point out to you real quickly, we do have one warning already in that 1 out of 5 risk. So I think you could have very easily made the argument that should have been pulled a little bit more to the north, and I saw that on models as well. But again, as the day of, it's apples to oranges at this point. I think everyone's kind of needs to be paying attention. I don't think this is a day that everyone needs to hunker down for. Again, the tornado threat, by the way, is very low. A 2% tornado risk, which again is the lowest that you can have without a 0%. So again, the tornado risk is quite low, and it's pretty much only in southern Kentucky, the southern half of it, as by the way. But the main threat to me today is the hail, where we do have a significant hatch risk, which, by the way, means that there's a 10% chance, a greater than or equal to 10% chance of significant hail, which significant hail is anything larger than 2 inches in diameter. And that does exist for southeastern Kentucky, where I feel like the best wind energy is, if you will. Again, so the hail threat is the main threat today. There's also a damaging wind risk as well, basically for that same 2 out of 5 risk area. But again, we do see a warning already in the brown, which is a 5% wind risk. So again, just shows that everyone kind of needs to pay attention today. I don't think today is anything to really write home about, but there is just enough wind energy out there to cause some issues. I'm actually going to go ahead and look at this real quickly. Sorry, my allergies, again, are ridiculous. Plenty of CAPE out there, so there's plenty of storm fuel. When it comes to wind energy, as you can see here, I know it's kind of weird to look at, but the darker blue lines and those higher numbers are where the better wind energy is, and you can see that that's absolutely positioned out there in southeastern Kentucky. So the fact that that Beaver Dam storm, which is right here, by the way, where my cursor is doing what it's doing is pretty remarkable. Actually, there is plenty of vorticity and 3 Cape out there, so actually, it's almost a bullseye over Beaver Dam. So pretty indicative of why that storm did what it did there. Again, I can't give any specific answers because again, I just want to point this out. Here's the radar as of 12:15 p.m. Eastern time. Look at the map there. There's nothing there, right? Here's the radar as of now. They're all pop-ups. So when you ask about a specific location today, I think I can give you a very general answer, but this is not going to be that very fine line that we look for to be able to give people very fine answers on what to expect. These are more of your pop-up variety storms, so there's just a chance that one area can see it, and there's a chance that another area is not going to see a thing. So for example, someone's asking about Frankfort. I could say that Frankfort's in a 1 out of 5 risk today for severe weather, with hail being the main threat. But again, whether you see a storm or not is a big question. And again, that I feel like that's been our pattern for the last few weeks. That's a very similar answer to what we've given for the last few weeks. Again, it all comes down to if you're going to see a storm or not. Again, these are summertime type of storms here, folks. Thank you for your 70 stars. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Yeah, Heather, and that's what led to the hail threat. It was elevated rotation there. What in the world? Thank you guys again for all the shares on the broadcast. I appreciate you helping us spread the information out. Again, this is kind of a sneaky threat, sneaky storm day, if you will. It's catching up on, or some sneaking up on some folks. So I appreciate you guys sharing the broadcast, helping us spread the information, get everyone aware of what's happening today. And the easiest way to do that is to share it to your newsfeed. So thank you very much. Why do I think Somerset is more likely for a few bad storms? The reason for that, again, is the better wind energy is out here in southeastern Kentucky, as we saw on this map. So again, if I pull this back up here, this is called wind shear. And this is something that storms need in order to really produce stronger, those upper level storms, if you will. And you can see that the brighter or darker or deeper blues are out here in southeastern Kentucky. So again, pretty easy to make that connection there, that the stronger storm threat is probably going to be out here eventually in the next few hours. Will there be multiple rounds today? There could be multiple. If you do see cells pop up in a training type of wave, you could see multiple pop-up storms. I can't say there's going to be multiple rounds of this because this is all really one round, but you could see multiple storms. Yes, I think everyone's in the pop-up area. You can kind of see already where that area is going to be. So I'll draw it for you. So again, you have storm activity from here, 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 and it's going to kind of make a curve down to here, like this, if you will. and this almost matches the outlook from the SPC. It's very close. It's very close. So you can kind of see already where storms are popping up. And I think it's going to mainly be in this area. Can we see some storms like in Lexington, Frankfurt? Sure. But your main bulk of storms are going to be down here. You could see one or two to the north or more rain to the north, but the bulk of the pop up storms will be in that red circle. Mason, no, you're not. But again, we have Beaver Dam that is in an area where there's not a whole lot of wind shear, but they produce already a considerable severe thunderstorm. Okay. So they just confirmed that the Louisville radar is down, so that's not really ideal for today. Hopefully they do. They say they have engineers on the field, so hopefully that can get back up here soon. Looks like it's still down as of now. Thank you, John, for giving me that information. All right, it's weird. Usually when they make or when a radar goes down, they make some sort of public communication for it, but they didn't this time. When our storms due to hit BG, a lot of your storm activity from Bowling Green will come from down here to the southwest. So you probably have about an hour and a half to how fast are these? I'm going to cheat real quickly. How fast are these moving? About 35 mile per hour. So yeah, probably about a couple of hours. But again, these are pop up style. So any storm can pop up in front of those and cut down that time frame. So that's why I don't usually like to give time frames for real. Just because again, you can have storms pop up in front, and then your whole time frame is thrown off. So not too ideal to be giving time frames out. We might see a warning come out for this Brownsville storm here soon. Let's go ahead and check our velocities out there. And so I do want to point out, just kind of teach you all something real quickly. Real quickly, if you do look at the velocity, charts on WeatherWise here or any radar, again, you'll see this red and green very broad. So usually for tornadic rotation, what you're looking for, I'll kind of just show you what you're looking for. Let's change colors on the pin here. Is for this red and green where it's mixing right here or getting real close like that, you want that to usually be in a nice broad or real nice tight circle, very bright colors. So what this indicates to me, where we have, the green here in a very broad oval, and then your red right here kind of brightening up on the southeastern side, this indicates to me elevated rotation. The difference is elevated rotation like this usually leads to larger hail or damaging winds, which is exactly what you're seeing on this storm cell here. So again, this is different. So I'm trying to teach folks because a lot of folks will see this and think, oh my goodness, we're seeing rotation. There's a tornado happening here. No, this is different. There's different types of rotation that you can have. You can have surface-based rotation, which is again is what we described at first there, where it's really tight, very bright, very vibrant. That's when usually something might be spinning up on the ground. This, where it's a lot more broad like this, usually indicates more upper level rotation, which indicates more hail, more wind. So that's the difference between those two there. I'm going to mess up that name. Andrea or Andrea, thank you for your 500 stars. I appreciate that. She says, thank you for all that you do. I appreciate you. So again, we do only have one severe warning in the state, but we're watching these cells that are in Tennessee. That does look pretty stagnant. What's that warning for down there? It's a lot of bright pink coming in there. What's their hell core look like? Nice hell core there. That hell core is only, they're reporting has only, quarter-sized hell there. That might be larger. Let's check that correlation out real quickly. Definitely nice spike there. Hmm. Hopefully they can get that radar back up soon. We definitely need that Louisville radar, especially now that these storms are going into central Kentucky. We definitely need that Louisville radar back up ASAP. So today, are we going to see more elevated rotation rather than surface based? I do think so, Olivia, and you can tell that the SPC thinks so as well because look at the. So here are your threats for today. Here's your tornado threat, by the way, 2%, not a very large tornado threat at all. But here's your hail threat. There is a significant hatch there. So again, kind of indicates that the SPC is thinking the same thing as us here, where we're looking at more elevated rotation, not necessarily surface based. Could we see A quick spin up, yes. You can see a quick spin up from elevated rotation, but usually it's more of the brief, very weak type of ordeal, if you will. Want to thank you guys again. I see the shares starting to go up now. Thank you guys for sharing the broadcast. I appreciate you. Once again, YouTube is just beating Facebook. I think YouTube has taken over the Facebook lives a little bit. Again, it's just amazing. I can see it all real time right here. It's amazing because we've spent so much time on Facebook. It's just amazing to see YouTube just. No, I mean it's not close right now. Oh, I bet. Oh, I bet. Hopefully, you get some of that work in. Thank you, Carolyn, for sharing the broadcast. I appreciate that. Okay. Do see some more cells now popping up down here for Highsville, between Columbia and Greensburg. Again, this is going to be the variety today, if you will. You see all these cells popping up, right? So you have gaps in between there too. This is why we can't say, hey, for sure you're going to see a storm today, or for sure you're not going to see a storm today, because they're going to be popping up. You're going to have gaps in between those pop-ups. There's going to be some folks saying, what in the world are you all talking about today? It's nice and sunny out here. There's going to be some folks saying, oh my goodness, it looks like a war zone. Very, very different takes on today, if you will. How's that storm near Grayson? Nothing too crazy right now on this one here. Maybe some spikes starting to show up now. Might see a warning come out for that soon. This one looks like it's starting to tick back up a little bit again. Let's go and take a look back at it. Still indicating broad rotation there. Really no rotation down here for the southern Grayson cell. You want to look at the integrated liquid. Do see a little hell spike there, a little hell spike there. Maybe some nickel-sized hell going on down here. Well, I have lightning turned off. I was wondering why I wasn't seeing the lightning. There you go, Lexi. Thank you, Roger. I appreciate that. I went from Facebook to YouTube. It's just a better platform, in my opinion. I do think for live broadcasts, it's better. But guys, we're not going to talk about that, my friend. Beaver Dam did see golf ball sized hail. It was observed, not just warned or radar indicated. It was observed out there. I want to see if anyone sent us any pictures of that, by the way. No pictures at this moment. This very moment. All right. So again, I do want to show you the model data real quickly for those of you asking and kind of look at the model data. I've seen a couple questions about that. Let's go and take a look here for you. So again, this is valid for 3 p.m. Eastern time. You can see some of those cells popping up there. But again, look at the space in between everything. So again, this is why we can't give a very firm yes or no, you're going to see storms today. Because look at all the space in between the pop-up storms, right? And then by 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern time, that's where we see a little bit more of the elevated activity out there in eastern Kentucky, especially around sunset. We do expect some more stronger cells to occur out there, and there may be slightly an uptick in rotation, if you will. So if there is any tornado threat at all today, I think it's down here. I think it's down here on the very southeastern corner of the state. And that again, that's a big if. I think we're still looking at mainly hail, mainly damaging winds, mainly between now and about sunset. These are pretty much sun-based storms or heat-based storms, if you will. So once sunset creeps up a little bit closer, you're going to see these storms begin to die down a little bit. So again, these are mainly almost the same as what we dealt with. What was it, last week or a couple weeks ago, where it's mainly summertime style storms here, if you will. Have you thought about starting a local weather app? We've thought about it. A lot of money, and we have some people that have offered to do that for us. My question is, I don't want it to be there. There are already so many weather apps out there. Like genuinely, there's so many weather apps out there, whether it's radar based apps or forecast based apps, so on and so forth. I do eventually want to make a website that's more of a central hub, if you will, that you can pin to your phone like an app. You know, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can pin a website to your phone like an app. If you just go to your Chrome browser or something like that, you can hit pin to phone and it'll have it there like an app. And we've thought about doing something like that, and that's something that I might want to do. I just haven't figured out exactly how I want to do it, who I want to do it with, what all we want to have on there, so on and so forth. Because it's not something that I want to do and just throw a bunch of Google ads on, because I can't stand getting on a website and being just slammed by Google ads. So we've been trying to explore it, and there are some people that we've talked to about it, trying to get ideas on what exactly it is that we want to do. I do want to make like a central hub, because eventually I want to have a place in case Facebook ever goes away, or God forbid YouTube goes away, or something like that ever happens. Uh, you know, I do want to have a place that we can call home that's not dependent on a social media platform. You know what I mean? So I do want to have that. Um, as far as an actual app, there are so many things we have to jump over: trademarks, copyrights, so on. I mean, there's just so much, especially with our name, Weather Now Kentucky. Um, it, it's it's more of a broad name, and we're seeing some people try to start stealing it, if you will. I'm not going to name names. Um, there are some people trying to be creative with integrating Weather Now into their name, because they see what we're doing, on a more local basis. And again, we're not going to get into who. If you go searching around, you could probably find it for yourself. Um, and so there's a lot of stuff that we have to get through in order to make an actual app. And for me, there's already so many. There's already so many apps. So what can we do to bring something different? You know what I mean? So that's the part where I might make like a central hub where you can pin it to your phone like an app. But as far as actually making an app, probably not, because again, it's very expensive. You have to have all these licenses, all these loopholes or these hoops that you have to jump through, especially for iOS, especially for Apple. Apple is like ridiculous. Android not so much. Mac, or not Mac, but PC, Microsoft not so much. But iOS, they make you get all these because they want you to pay more money to them. So you have to get all these licenses, all these certificates, all these certifications. It's a lot. Thank you, Lexi. How's my? She's doing good, Lisa. Thank you. Stephanie, thank you for a report out of B Spring. I appreciate that. Totally agree, George. A central hub sounds much more efficient and effective. I think so as well. And it's something that we could do. We could create our own website that has our lives kind of, our live broadcast kind of fed into it. Has a spot for us to make a little blog update, if you will. We could put a little link to our Facebook posts and stuff like that as well. Basically, making just a central hub for everybody, so you don't have to keep going to different apps if you don't want to. You know, because I know there's some people that don't even. There are some people that have reached out to us and say they've downloaded Facebook just to watch us. They don't like Facebook, and that's why we've tried to go into YouTube and X and stuff as well. But nowadays, guys, these social media platforms are getting out of hand, and I fear there's going to be a day where there's going to be so many changes made that we're not going to want to be on here anymore. So I am eager to make a central hub, if you will. I just don't know the logistics behind it, if you will. Again, Jessica, I think there's a severe threat later on this afternoon into the evening for southeastern Kentucky, mainly being damaging winds and large hail potential. Yeah, Bluegrass Acres. I have some ideas from people that we've watched and stuff as well, but I just don't know the logistics behind it. All right, let's check back in on the radar here. Still seeing some broad upper level rotation here, again indicating maybe some damaging winds and large hail occurring on this cell for Baystown, Select, Oak Grove, Flint Springs, if you will, down here, and west central Kentucky. As for these other cells, not really seeing a whole lot on them at the moment, but the problem is our radar in Louisville is currently down. So we're not going to have the cleanest picture on what these storms are doing exactly. Jennifer, thank you for the update there. Are we going to get storms in Edmonson County? Again, these are pop-up type of storms, so they're going to hit some areas and miss some areas. For example, you can see right here, we got a cell here and a cell here, but Munfordville is currently being gapped. So I can't give a firm answer on if storms are actually going to happen in your specific areas today. I can just tell you that there is a chance. No, Lisa, these storms just haven't made it to the eastern portions of the state yet. They're starting in western Kentucky. They'll travel to the east here eventually. Ben, yeah, I mean, again, you might have to. You're leaving from where? London to Hodgenville. By the time you get closer to Hodgenville, you'll probably hit some of these storms here. But again, they're pop up, so I can't tell you not to go, when to go, where to go, how to go. I think the longer you wait, the better. The longer you wait, the more of a chance you have to run into storms. So if you're gonna go now and just drive through these couple versus having to drive through more later. It's storming now in Edmonson County. So for whoever was asking about Edmonson County, that's your answer there. Okay, good. Luxbook, thank you very much. I appreciate that. What in the world's going on outside? Someone's hammering the heck out of something. All right, I think at this point we can go ahead and pause the broadcast here, come back to you if we need to. I just kind of wanted to go live and kind of give you guys an insight of what's happening today. I don't think this requires us to have wall-to-wall coverage at this point. I think at some point we might need to do that, especially for southeastern Kentucky. But just know we'll be back live with you guys if we need to be. But at this point, these are more of your pop-up type of thunderstorms. Most of these will stay below severe levels. A few may go above severe levels and may produce damaging winds and large hail. The best chance for that being in the southern half of Kentucky. So again, split Kentucky in half here. Your best chances on the bottom side of Kentucky, whereas northern or the top side of Kentucky, you may still see a couple of cells, but not as much wind energy up there. So it shouldn't be as crazy as a southern side. So again, the main threats today being damaging winds and the potential for quarter size or even larger hail. Tornado threat is there, but it's quite low. It's at about 2% chance. So very, very low on the scale there. So again, we're going to end this broadcast for now. I appreciate everyone sharing the broadcast, liking the stream, all that good stuff, following, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys. We'll keep posting radar updates for you. And if we need to come back live again, we will. Before we do head out, I want to give you a quick message from our sponsors real quickly. They're the reason we could be here for you guys. I want to make sure that you guys hear what they have to say. FBI Buildings has over a half a century of experience in renovating, remodeling, and rebuilding any residential and commercial building. They also can give your pole barns new life. If any disaster does hit, be sure to go to FBIbuildings.com for a free quote. Hyper Roofing has experts on their staff that work with insurance companies and can talk their language. We know that sometimes when it comes to disasters that insurance companies and roofing companies and you all may not have points that align. So having that on your side is super important, at least to me. They also use GAF. They're only one of 12 roofing companies statewide that are able to give an additional 15-year wind warranty at no extra cost to you. They're also Better Business Bureau accredited. All these things to me are super important when I'm thinking about the big thing that's on top of my house protecting me from all these storms. Make sure that you're being proactive about it. Reach out to Hyper Roofing. They not only serve Hardin County, but the surrounding counties in Kentucky. To me, that's who we trust. And so I feel very confident, Tony, that you could trust them as well. Thank you so much to Hyper for their partnership with us, and we hope that you consider using Hyper Roofing and being proactive in keeping your family and your shelter safe. Right Implement has over 15 locations throughout all of Kentucky and making it convenient for you to go shop with them. They're our longest standing sponsor, and we appreciate them so much for their support. They have so many things from outdoor apparel to outdoor vehicles to things to help you on your farm. Right Implement is such a phenomenal company and someone that you really want to support in Kentucky.
Ah, it's deer season.
Already? Nice knowing you. We gotta hide.
No, not that deer season. Deer season. It's that time of year when you can get $3,000 off at an authorized John Deere dealer.
A deer season that saves bucks?
That's right.
It's deer season, now through June 2nd.